I think the basic is having discipline, because we do need a regular daily practice. And so we should, it would be good if we can every morning or every night have a silent time, because we do need time for internal contemplation, for remembering who we truly are, or remembering the divine. And so we need that time. And if we don't have a regular time, a regular rhythm, we tend to forget. We get up and then we think of the next problem that we have to solve, and we are distracted. And so discipline is something that we all need. We need time in silence, in contemplation, and a practice that uplifts us. And so then we can get lost in daily life in between, and then have regular moments when we remember, and then, okay, I forgot, that happens to me sometimes, often. I forgot the mantra, okay. So then at some point then you remember, and that's why also coming here, it is like for me, okay, refreshing. The mind the monkey mind is so destructive, and it's so overwhelming. But that is also the difference between spiritual people or people with a hold in the spiritual world, because we solve problems differently. We find solutions in a different way. And that also feeds us. So we are receiving energy through that, and it feeds us and helps us to move and make decisions in daily life. And the decisions usually are a lot more balanced. Well, that's part of what we are all learning. I think there is the basic thoughts that we have, and then there is also the emotional mind. That means there is thoughts that are connected with feelings from maybe traumatic events. And so that is all mixed together. So when we make a decision, often it's not just a thought, okay, I should be doing this. It is a thought like it's connected with what we in the teaching call, in the rebirthing teaching call the personal law. It's connected with a thought about myself and about life. And if that thought is, for example, I'm not good enough, then all my decisions are based on those thoughts. So controlling the mind, there's many different exercises. For Babaji, it was, of course, mantra, remembering the highest thought in the universe, remembering God. So when you focus your mind, your thoughts on that, it will calm the rest of the thoughts that are running around in the crazy mind. But there is also for example, we can do affirmations, we can contemplate thoughts, we can meditate on high quality thoughts. There's many different forms that we can use. But of course, when we concentrate on the highest thought, on the name of God, then it lifts us up at the same time. But it's practice and becoming aware, and always remembering, getting back, remember. So it's a lifetime job. We have to understand what thinking is, because there is different types of thinking in my understanding. There is a monkey mind, there is a random unconscious repetition of thought. The world mind is thinking. There is thoughts all around us. That's why we need that silence to take us out of that, that noise. So in that silence, we practice, and that will help to remember, and then understanding my human nature. What is the purpose of human life? It is also to learn discernment of our will. We have to use our will, and our will is thoughts. So when we focus on good goals, we also sort of like controlling our mind, because I'm focused. You see some people, when they're very involved in what they do, their mind is very sharp and very clear thinking. So one way also to control our mind and our will is to focus on good goals. So if we are focused in our daily life on something that uplifts us and everybody around us, then it also helps to control that monkey mind. So there's many different things that it's not just, okay, I should just be thinking a mantra, or I should just be not thinking negative, because that doesn't work. The Bhagavad Gita says that the mind is like 8 horses that all run in a different direction. So, so you focus that with a mantra, you focus that with good goals, you focus that with your purpose, fulfilling, and then with, of course, loving thoughts about ourselves and then about other people. So one thing that I've been practicing here is I'm imagining I am you, because also there's a book written here. I was just reading I am you. Babaji said that. That means to put myself into the shoes of somebody else and see what possibly are they thinking and where they're going with that. So practicing oneness in that, in a very practical way. Instead of judging, oh, he looks strange and he's, you know, he's doing that, and why is he doing strange things, and all that judgment that we have. So we have to control that judgment too about other people. So if your goal is to produce a meaningful film about Babaji, then you're totally focused and you have a good intention, because you want to make people aware that there is higher power, or that there is other realities, other worlds that people could contemplate. So that's when you're focused on other people. And I think the important thing, what we all have to learn, is listening. And that's what you're doing to me right now. You're listening to what I'm saying. You're not responding in a way that, you know, you try to make me wrong. And you're listening, and then there is interaction. And I'm listening to your questions, and so then that is also very pure communication by listening. And so then you're fulfilling your life mission that is right now to produce that movie, and that makes us happy. And Babaji always said, I want you to be happy. Well, all paths lead to hope. They have to have the same goal. And I like exploring different paths, but we have to, when we really explore them, we have to dive into them and really explore and practice that for some time. I think nowadays we have a lot of knowledge available, and my teacher always said it is like furniture in our mind, and we are adding more furniture, but we are not doing anything with it. So if we're really interested in going deeper in our spiritual path, we should focus on one thing that really produces results, and we should check, is there really a good result? Am I becoming a better person? Am I maybe healing some of the conditions of my physical body or my emotional mind? So when you're on the spiritual path, you have to look at the underlying message or assumption that the religion is offering you. And some assumptions I would agree, and some I wouldn't agree. So again, we need a conscious mind that makes discernment of, is that something that I wholeheartedly can follow? And so Babaji is wholeheartedly what I can follow in all his teachings, and and it structures and helps in my life. I don't call myself a spiritual healer because I don't think I have the power over anybody else's life. So I think that's a great, too much of a title. I do think that there is a lot of good healing practices around and that we need them, because the traditional or the allopathic medicine is not necessarily looking at the whole person. So usually people that do spiritual healing, they look at the whole person. They look at your whole story, your whole history, and then they apply hopefully a good technique that works and supports other people. And so for me, the breath is the healer mainly that I work with, but then also we work with clearing the mind and memories, and so it's good that that is spreading more. We should always have our discernment if that person has real something of value to give. You know, there's a lot of people who like titles and might not have inner wisdom, because I think that's the requirement, to have inner wisdom. And then only making suggestions to other people and not, you know, this is what's the right thing for you. I don't think we ever know that for anybody else. We don't even know that for ourselves. How can we know that for other people?